Hello everyone, and welcome to a journey of wonder, awe, and rare experience on our very own planet. Today, I'm taking you to a place that few people on Earth will ever see with their own eyes, Antarctica. But not just the frozen continent you see in documentaries, this is something far more surreal. It feels like stepping onto another planet. Have you ever wondered what's hidden beneath hundreds of meters of solid ice? Why red light disappears completely in the deep ocean? Or why penguins are so adorably clumsy yet fearless? In this video, I'll be sharing a real-life experience when I descended to the ocean floor in a submersible, carrying a bright red Santa hat, only to watch it fade into black as the light vanished. When our icebreaker ship slammed into a massive ice sheet and created a crack that stretched all the way to the horizon, when I stood among thousands of waddling, smelly, yet irresistibly charming penguins, and felt like an intruder in their ancient world. This isn't just a travel story, it's a powerful reminder that our world is still full of mysteries and marvels we barely understand. So if you're ready, buckle up, because this journey to Penguin Land and the land without darkness begins right now. As we sealed the hatch and began our descent in the submersible, there was an eerie quiet that fell over the cabin. The soft mechanical hum of the vessel was the only sound, and outside, a pale blue shimmer filtered through the thick Antarctic water. We were about to leave behind the world of daylight, diving into a realm where few humans have ever gone. Sunlight behaves differently underwater. The deeper we sank, the more the spectrum of light began to vanish, starting with red. I brought a Santa hat bright red as a visual experiment. Within minutes, its vibrant color dulled, then darkened, and finally, it turned a shade of black. Red light cannot penetrate deep water, so without it, red objects lose their identity. It was a simple, stunning demonstration of physics, and a jarring reminder that we were truly entering an alien environment. As the pressure increased, so did the strangeness outside the viewing dome. Life down here didn't resemble anything from the surface. A translucent creature drifted by, its internal organs glowing faintly in the sub's lights. A starfish-like creature appeared next, but with 15 legs instead of 5. It glided with a slow, alien grace across the seabed. I found myself gasping involuntarily, not in fear, but in awe. It felt like we had cut through the ice crust of Europa, Jupiter's moon, and were staring into another world. The cold here is unimaginable. The salt water allows the sea to remain liquid even below the freezing point of fresh water, and yet these creatures thrive. No fear, no hesitation, just the quiet persistence of life. Back aboard our reinforced ship, a hybrid between an exploration vessel and an icebreaker, we set our course toward an enormous ice sheet. The front of the ship was designed to split ice cleanly, its hull sheathed in steel several inches thick. The idea was to wedge into the sheet just enough to let us disembark and walk onto the frozen ocean. The first attempt sent a deep rumble through the hull, but the ice held. We reversed, then surged forward once more. A sharp crack echoed. At the bow, a deep fracture tore through the ice and began to stretch outward, and it didn't stop. We watched, stunned, as it snaked across the surface, a mile-long jagged line etched into the frozen sea. Some people gasped. Others laughed nervously. A few worried aloud, "Did we just ruin a penguin migration route?" But penguins swim, and swim they did. Not only were they unbothered, they seemed almost excited by the new water channel, hopping in and out with joyful clumsiness. This ice, though ancient in appearance, is in constant motion. It cracks, reforms, flows, and shatters again. We hadn't broken anything permanent. We had simply witnessed nature's process at work, up close. The Antarctic Peninsula is speckled with islands, and our itinerary included a stop on the mainland proper, not just surrounding isles. It was here that I first encountered the vast colonies of penguins. They were everywhere, huddled in noisy clusters, waddling awkwardly on the ice, squabbling over pebbles, guarding their eggs under bulging bellies, and the smell? Overpowering. Fishy, musky, a pungency that clung to the air. But none of that could overpower the charm of these creatures. They were no taller than my knees and hilariously clumsy. Tripping, falling, hopping, slipping, and still somehow full of personality. They had no fear of us. Why would they? In this land, there are no land predators. And because of that, penguins evolved without needing to be quick or nimble. They'd waddle right up to us, sometimes pecking at camera gear, curiously examining boots or gloves. I kept thinking, what if a land predator ever appeared here? Evolution would respond swiftly. We'd have agile, cautious penguins in a matter of generations. We never saw emperor penguins, they lived farther inland, but we witnessed several species. To my untrained eye, they all looked like penguins, but our guides pointed out differences in beaks, markings, and behaviors. And then there were the whales, humpbacks breaching in the distance, orcas killer whales swimming in synchronized elegance, a ballet of black and white through the icy water. One of our guides likened them to wolves, hunting in coordinated packs, a perfect analogy. The voyage took place during the last 10 days of December, brushing against the summer solstice. At these latitudes, the sun barely sets, night never truly falls. Instead, the sky holds a dim, golden glow twilight, suspended in time. It was disorienting. Without the rising and setting sun, time felt warped. Some in our group lost track of day and night, eating breakfast at midnight or taking naps during sunsets that never led to darkness. But more than confusing, it was beautiful. The horizon never truly darkened. Icebergs glowed like frozen cathedrals, bathed in gold. And without artificial noise, the silence was profound. I mean absolute silence, broken only by the creak of ice, the distant splash of a whale, or the comical squawk of a penguin. In that silence, reflection came naturally. What am I doing here? What do I take from this place? The penguins weren't impressed by our cameras. The whales didn't care for our applause. This land doesn't need us. It thrives in our absence. I realized then, I am not the explorer here. I am the guest. Antarctica is a paradox, fiercely wild, yet exquisitely delicate. It's a place where time stands still, where light behaves differently, where creatures defy the cold, and wind whispers truths we ignore back home. I came to tick a box on a bucket list. I left with a deeper understanding of my place in the world. Thank you to Daniel and Tristan from Future of Space for making this possible. And to anyone watching, chase wonder. Stay curious. There are still corners of this earth where magic lives. Welcome to Antarctica, or as I like to call it now, Penguin Land and Iceberg Way. From the deepest ocean trenches to the tallest polar ice cliffs, every step of this journey has reminded me how fragile and magnificent our planet truly is. And it is with a heart full of gratitude that I thank you, the curious, the dreamers, the lifelong learners, for walking this path with me. Let us continue to protect the wild, to honor the unknown, and to celebrate every encounter with nature as a sacred gift. If this journey has inspired you, I hope you'll join me again as we venture further into the extraordinary. There are still new frontiers waiting to be touched, stories waiting to be told, and beauty waiting to be felt. Thank you for being part of this chapter. May your days be filled with wonder, your nights with peace, and your spirit with the courage to explore. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay safe. Wishing you peace, purpose, and endless discovery.